I truly get asked that question a lot. Does really expensive fragrances really worth the price point? Well, in this video, I have 3 very expensive fragrances that I personally think really worth and deserve the price points. What is going on, guys, and welcome again to another video. Yes, it's another lockdown video from my bedroom, and in today's video I am talking about 3 very expensive fragrances that I truly think they deserve the price point. They are niche, they are extremely expensive, but worth it. Yeah, seriously guys, one of my most asked questions: does really expensive and niche fragrances really deserves and worth the price point in the hundreds of dollars? And this is a very subjective answer. There's a lot of niche fragrances that I personally think they don't deserve the price point, but on the other hand, I think there is some other fragrances that really, if they ask whatever cost it is, I truly think they do deserve the price point. Yeah, and here's the thing: deserving the really high price point, in my honest opinion, and I'm talking about my own perspective in perfumery and in fragrances, of course, it's all about the wow factor for me. How crisp and how HD. Yes, I smell high-end fragrances and they smell HD to me compared to some other fragrances on the cheaper realm. Seriously guys, there's a big difference when it comes to the perfumer, when it comes to the fragrance house by itself, when it comes to the ingredients and the notes are used in that specific fragrance. All these things all together makes this very expensive niche fragrances worth it, in my honest opinion. And in today's video, I chose 3 very expensive fragrances that I thought they really deserve the price point, due to the fact that they are very HD, they are very crisp when you smell them. Uniqueness, the bestest ingredients, they are there. The bestest perfumers, everything combined, in my honest opinion, you can find them in these 3 fragrances that I am about to show you. Of course, these 3 fragrances, they're not in any particular order. I'm just picking it up randomly, but yeah, that's pretty much it. My number 3 on my list is a fragrance I personally adore. For example, if I haven't smelled that fragrance and I only read and seen the note breakdown, I probably guess I wouldn't like it, because most of the notes here are pretty much old schoolish in a way. The notes here, you can find them on the old 70s and 80s fougere, and I'm not a big fan of fougere. And this one is slightly part fougere. I wouldn't call it like 100% fougere. And I'm talking about Hormone Jane Black Gold. This is one of the crispiest, if not the crispiest, fougere fragrance that I ever smelled. The ingredients and the notes here are very, very well blended, that sometimes I personally can't pick up any notes. This is how well blended the notes are in here. It is extremely herbal with the clary sage, and I kid you not guys, clary sage is not my favorite note. Yeah, if I have to pick a note, it wouldn't be clary sage. It's very well blended here with the citruses and juniper berry. Juniper berry, on the other hand, it's another note that it's a hit or miss. I either love it or I either hate it. And not only me, a lot of you guys that really experienced juniper berry, they either love it or they hate it. Sometimes juniper berry, if it's not done right, it could get very extremely sour on your skin. But the juniper here, honestly, it enhances the fragrance. It gives it somewhat of a manly richness without being too fruity. You know, juniper, it's kind of like a fruit and it could get very sweet and juvenile sometimes. Here, it is not the case at all. On the other hand, for the longest time, I thought this fragrance has ginger. But when I checked the note breakdowns, this fragrance doesn't have any ginger at all. But seriously guys, the way they mix the juniper berry here, they made it somewhat very gingery, and ginger is a very pretty note. I don't know about you guys, but ginger is definitely one of my favorite notes, and this one smells like ginger even though it doesn't have any ginger. This is a CEO type of a fragrance. This fragrance smells very expensive, and when I tell you very expensive, I truly mean it. This is not something for the faint of heart. Seriously guys, this fragrance would make you very confident. It does to me at least. I don't wear this fragrance like on a daily basis due to the fact that I don't have a lot of juice, if you guys can see, and also due to the price points, and I just want to make it special. It's very masculine, very manly, but pleasing at the same time. I don't think a younger teenager would appreciate or would be able to rock this fragrance. No, you have to be a man dressed up, and you have to be confident as well. It is extremely unique despite the fact that it is part fougere. Fougere fragrances, you just can't smell them everywhere and they pretty much smell alike. No, not this one. If you want something in the same vein, still excellent, it's not identical at all, two different fragrances. It's a little cheaper with excellent quality as well. I would recommend Hermes Pour Homme by MFK, Maison Francis Kurkdjian. I love this fragrance. I think it's a knockout by itself. It's definitely cheaper, and it smells somewhat like in the same vein. It'll take you the same path this fragrance is taking you, but you'll have a similar feeling in a way. If you want something affordable but great as well, I would highly encourage you to try L'Homme Ultime by Yves Saint Laurent YSL. L'Homme Ultime on its own, it's great. You can find it discounted for around $40–50, and it's a phenomenal fragrance. I love it on its own, but it's not this. This one is not Hermes Pour Homme either. L'Homme Ultime, Hermes Pour Homme, and this one. It's all up to you. How do you feel like if you want to splurge on getting this one? These are three great fragrances in three different price points. They're all great, but quality might differ, of course. My number 2 on my list is a fragrance I personally adore. It's such a beautiful scent that every time I have this fragrance on, I honestly think I'm rich, and I'm not. I kid you not. But yes, it is true. And yes, I'm talking about Creation E by Rosa Dom. What a beautiful scent that is, guys. This is an absolute 10 out of 10 for me, and for a lot of you guys out there as well. This is my second bottle. As a matter of fact, I bought my first bottle and I was stupid enough and I sold it. Yep. And but I just had to get it back, and I've been having this for quite a while now, and I just love it. This is actually my go-to fragrance when I'm going somewhere upscale, expensive at night, and I'm dressing up. I always rock this bad boy, and it never fails me. It gets me tons of compliments. It projects off my skin very well. It's boozy, sweet, playful at the same time. It's very upscaled. So when I say playful, you'll be playful but in an upscaled level. It's a level that you've never seen or never experienced before unless you try this one out. I kid you not, guys. This one is a must try. If you love boozy fragrances, if you love cognac and fragrances, this is gonna be it for you guys. And the vanilla here, when this one dries down, combined with the tobacco and the cognac, it gives this one somewhat like a Coca-Cola vibe. A lot of people talk about it. I totally get it. But it's more than that, in my honest opinion. Why I said it's way more than that? Because I personally experienced way too many great Coca-Cola based fragrances, or fragrances that are inspired by Coca-Cola or smell like Coca-Cola, but they are nothing like this one right here. They smell great still. I still love it, like Pure Excess by Paco Rabanne, for example. This one, it gives a hint of a Coca-Cola vibe, but compared to that one, guys, there's no comparison. No comparison at all. And whatever the case may be, and whatever price point Rosa Dom is asking for this one, I truly think it deserves the price point, like 110%. My number one fragrance that I have here for you guys, it's a fragrance that I personally adore. It's a fragrance from one of my favorite houses out there, and yes, it is Alexandria 2 from the house of Zerjov. This fragrance is another 10 out of 10 for me. It's a knockout, like by any mean. This is honestly one of the best well-blended fragrances that I ever encountered, like period. One of the best lavenders in perfumery that I ever smelled as well. Lavender is a very tricky note for me, guys. It's either love or hate, and it's mostly hate, to be honest here. There's not a lot of fragrances that has a big dose of lavender that I love. It's usually a miss for me. There's not a lot of fragrances that done lavender right. Lavender here, it's very natural. You can smell how natural it is. That's not a good thing, because I've smelled very natural lavender in fragrances, and I wasn't a big fan. But the way they blended everything all together with the woods, and there's oud, there's cinnamon, there's way too many things going on. This is a very complex fragrance, guys. But it's very well blended. It's very well done. It's very pleasing. And the lavender here, it's in your face, and I love it. I just love it. You have no freaking idea, yeah. I have never smelled any other well blended lavender based fragrance like this one right here. But at the same time, the lavender here reminds me of a fragrance. Ironically enough, it didn't get a lot of success. I don't understand why. From the house of Frederic Malle, and it's one of his newest one as well, called Music for a While. The lavender here reminds me a lot from Music for a While lavender. They're both very similar, but these two fragrances, they take totally different routes. This is very luxurious, very classy, smells very expensive. But on Music for a While by Frederic Malle, the same lavender, honestly, that it is there, I smell it here, but with added a lot of pineapple, a lot of sweetness. It's very flirty, very outgoing night out, flirty type of a fragrance, but mature at the same time. It's not for kids. It's sweet, but not for kids. Due to the fact that the lavender, it's big in there, and the pineapple is big in there as well. For me personally, when I first smelled it, it was a little different to my nose. It was something I never smelled before, and it took me a minute to really appreciate. But after I've worn Music for a While for a couple of times, I didn't really expect the amount of compliments this one got me, to be honest. But this one is like wealth in a bottle. It's totally different. It's not flirty. It is not, to be honest. It's very mass appealing to a certain extent. It's not gonna appeal to everybody, pretty much. It's very artistic, but if people like it, they would fall in love with it. It is pretty appealing, don't get me wrong, but appealing with money, it's totally different than appealing without money. There's a big, huge difference. This is it with money here, guys. So this is pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys again for watching and subscribing and doing all the good stuff. Make this video, what, 300 likes, and I would choose a lucky subscriber to give him some little decants to try these 3 fragrances out, and to let me know what does he think of it. Am I right or wrong? Of course, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell right next to it to not miss off any of this guy. And follow me on Instagram to see all the good stuff I put on there. It's a lot of things going on, okay? Please let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think of these 3 fragrances? Do you have any very expensive niche fragrances that you think it worth the price point, I would love to know in the comment section down below. And I know sponge making smelling good always easy. Peace.